Hey, friends. I just wanted to pop in today and mention that my 7 Magic Words challenge began this morning. And if you haven't joined yet or you don't know about it yet, I would so love for you to think about being with us. It's a free 7-day project. They call it a challenge because that's what the internet calls it, but I don't want to have that kind of heaviness and weight around it. Instead, it's a community project. It's a personal project. It's a chance to discover a set of magic words that will help you plant some creative seeds for the season to come. It's going to set us up. We began today and we'll end right on the spring equinox. And, I'm here in the Hudson Valley and I'm looking at a bunch of snow, and I know that it's time for us to definitely, hi Rabav, it is time for us to celebrate the fact that the seasons can and will shift and change. And as I say that, I also want to acknowledge that right now, it's hard for me to be thinking about something that seems as light and fluffy as magic when my feed, and yours too, I'm sure, is full of news of school walkouts and the fact that the number 17 has a completely different meaning than it usually does. It's my favorite number, so I'm aware of it, maybe in a sort of silly way, but I can't help but think of those 17 students and teachers in Parkland, and I can't help but think about all those students who are walking out from their classrooms all over the country right now. I know I shared earlier that post of students in Scotland and teachers in Scotland who are saying, we've been through this too. And so, as we're holding something so heavy as parents, as educators, as any of us who love our civil society and want to have safe spaces, what does it mean to be talking about magic right now? I mean, is that just sort of fluffy, escapist nonsense? Or is it really part of the point is that we are hoping to create a safer, saner world so that things like magic are possible. And it's not, especially in our children's lives, I want them to be thinking about Harry Potter and, Wrinkle in Time, and not the latest drills and what that's doing to them. And so as a mother, I want to be making sure that I'm maintaining magic in my kids' lives. But as a creative, as a person with a soul who wants to believe in the best of life and humanity, I need magic to help me do that. And in fact, magic helps me face the hard stuff. Because for me, I go back to there's an old definition of magic by the novelist Dion Fortune. And her idea of magic is the art of changing consciousness at will. And think about it. What we know we need to change right now in so much of our world is guns and the culture of violence and the cheapness of human life. But we also need to change our consciousness so that we are able to actually make those huge and what may seem like enormously difficult changes, right? So in 7 Magic Words, which as I said, we started today, it could be as simple as celebrating the growth of the new flowers you're seeing in your front yard, which, by the way, in and of itself is deeply profound because we need to stay connected to nature in order to stay connected to each other and in order to care about this planet and to care about the community of humans and all sorts of creatures that live upon it. And it may take you, the magic words may take you into some much more what maybe seem more immediately profound and difficult territory. That's the whole kind of wonderfulness of these prompts, is that I have no idea where they're going to take people when I put them out there, but they are intended to instigate magic and thought and transformation at lots of different levels. And this time in the challenge, we're talking about the elements of creation. We're talking about the elements of nature, and we're talking about the elements of, creativity itself. And so in those invitations, I would love for you to dive into your own creative process, dive into the awakening of the world around you, dive into the stuff that makes you. I mean, we're talking about that idea of earth and being, planted into the ground. We're talking about air. We're talking about water. We're talking, so it's the breath. It's the blood and the emotions. It's the fire in our bellies that gets us to change this world when it feels broken and hard and cruel, and gets us to reintroduce the magic in whatever way you want to define that. If it's just sitting down and having coffee with a friend you haven't seen in a long time, if it's sending flowers to somebody who you know is having a bad day, if it's sitting down and doing some sort of ritual that connects you to the sacred and connects you to yourself, if it's writing a poem, if it's writing a manifesto, if it's getting something done for your business so that you're able to do that work you do as a healer or as an agent of transformation, all of these are acts of magic. And so I am so excited to welcome everybody into this on what is a beautiful, gorgeous, difficult, always challenging day, because that's what every single day is. Whether it's that we're watching tragedy from afar, whether we are witnessing our own chaos and difficulty in our own lives, magic is not necessarily an escape hatch. Magic is a way to say, there is more here than what immediately meets the eye. There is more than the next dismal headline, the next tweet. There is more here than what they say is the way the world needs to be. Our magic, kitty, sorry. There's magic in our household creatures and all the things that they show us and all of the mischief that they get up to, right? There is magic the moment we decide to put our ideas, our love, our passion out into the world, because that is what we need right now to face the difficult things. Hi, Charla. To face all of the darkness that's out there. We make magic and trust in the unseen. We trust in the dreams. We trust in the love. We trust in all of the things that are difficult to quantify, are difficult to pin down and turn into policy immediately, to turn into radical change on the streets in this very next moment. But maybe that's exactly what we're looking for too. So magic in the midst of troubled times is exactly what we need. We need activism and awareness, and we also need that work that's unseen and goes on within. And so that's why I would love to see you join us for 7 magic words. If you look throughout my feed, you'll see lots of links to it, but I'll pin it to the bottom of this video as well. And I just would love to see what you might be creating. I would love to know, hey, Jessica, I would love to know that even if you don't decide to go out and share your magic word every day, I'm already seeing them come through. And it's so exciting for me. I just get these feelings every time. And sometimes those are feelings of excitement, and sometimes they're sorrow, because sometimes people share words that are hard. But whether you decide to join in this project and do it publicly, which I think is wonderful, because when you share the magic, you spread the magic and it goes out through the world. Or you just decide that you're going to read the prompt every morning and carry around that desire, hey Emma, that desire to think about a word that, today our prompt is a word that prepares. So what sort of word prepares you for spring, for your next creative act, for your day, for your next moment of activism, where you stand up and say, we're going to change this world, and because it's not okay the way it is right now. What is it? What will prepare you and make you strong enough and excited enough and passionate enough and receptive enough in order to do that magic? That's what, and so it could just be that you walk around throughout the day and wonder, what word can I imbue with some magic that will help me prepare for whatever it is that I want to create in this world? And then the next day you open the email again and you see what the next prompt is. I'm not going to tell you about that one yet, because that will be tomorrow's 7 a.m. surprise. But I just want to let us all remember that magic is part of life. Magic can and should be ordinary. And what I mean by that is both that I think we can find magical things in the everyday. It can be, our child's laughter, or the look in our lover's eyes, or that moment when you see the first snowdrop, or when you see someone write something that just makes you go, that's it right there, mic drop. Or someone tells you a truth that is so hard to hear, but you are saying, oh my God, I do need to shift the way I think and act. That's magic, because that's transformation. Magic is the art of changing consciousness at will. And when we change consciousness, we change ourselves and we change the world, right? Magic is real. Magic is ordinary. Magic is what happens in the everyday. And those acts of magic that we create, whether, in my world, I'm an energy healer. I've attended a mystery school for years. I consciously sit and meditate and hope that I am going to reach another state of consciousness, right? That's part of my work. It may be part of yours too, in whatever spiritual path you follow. That stuff, that's not the stuff of every day. That's the stuff, the texture of the soul and the spirit. And that really, those are the sparkles. That's the gold, right? That is not the everyday stuff. But what if it were? What if that feeling you have when you're in meditation, when you're in prayer, when you're connecting to the great source that transcends all of us, you brought that through you and you pushed it into the everyday world. You brought it into the everyday world and shared it so that we are all living that magic, that art of transforming consciousness at will. What if? What if? That's what creates the ripples that changes the world. That's what says, yes, it's okay to talk about magic on days when our feeds are full of heartbreak and sorrow and memory and saying never again. Okay, how do we make sure never again happens? We change policy, we change laws, we take to the streets, and we also perform acts of magic within ourselves that says, I'm going to think about this differently. I'm going to teach my children differently. I'm going to have different conversations with people so that we are creating ripples of transformation so that magic is happening. So 7 magic words, just search for it. It'll find you. I promise. If you know me, I've been talking about it. I would love to have you with us, and I would love you to bring some friends along, because I really do think that this project can be a gift for people. And I say that with a little bit of, with all humility. I hope it's my gift to my community. I do this for free at the turn of every season, because we all need more magic in our lives. We all need to understand the power of our words and how they can help change us and how they change everybody around us. So, my beloveds, I do hope that you'll make some magic with me. And let me know if you have any questions or want to dive deeper into any of this. This is the stuff that makes my soul sing. And this is the stuff that I think we need on the good days and the bad days and the hard days and the beautiful days and all the days. So, my dear magic makers, if you haven't thought of yourself as that, I encourage you to. It's really easy. You know what you need to do in order to call yourself, to become a magic maker? You say, hey, I'm a magic maker. And then you come up with 1 magic word with us per day over the next week. And just carry it in your heart. Let it help you change your world so we can all change our world. I'll talk to y'all soon. Be well.